you think about?
Yeah, initial reactions from the guys are like, "Wow, that's either a big step in the right direction or a big step in some direction." And that's really what I'm getting from a lot of my teammates right now, and what I'm understanding. There's a lot of misunderstanding for people, and I think the issue is there's a lot of people who aren't informed on the issue. It's not just a money issue, and I think that's what people on the outside kind of think when they look at this. Oh, athletes are just trying to get paid. They need to calm down with this. It's an issue that spans so many more things that apply to student athletes: time constraints, health, concussions, a bunch of stuff. And I think that's the biggest misconception. So I think right now, as the process goes and it plays out, I think education to not only student athletes but to universities on the issues that are at hand, I think that's going to be vital.
It seems like there's some sentiment. It's like the initial reaction is, "Oh, good, let's get some money, some spending money." But you're saying that, I mean, there's other issues that a union could fight for.
There are other issues that a union could fight for, and I think that's the big point that Northwestern tries to make. And their situation is different than a lot of other universities because the ruling applies to private universities, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know as well, is that the ruling hasn't been extended to public universities, but that's a whole other issue in and of itself, and it'll pan out. But I think people need to realize that whether it's by unionizing or whether it's by some other means, there are issues that need to be looked at other than just paying athletes. That's not the big issue here. It's student-athlete well-being, student-athlete experience, and it's got to be student-athlete. And I think that's the biggest issue.
There's a lot that goes into that umbrella. Is there one or two things that stand out the most? What should be the biggest priority?
One of the things that we're looking at is, everyone wants to talk about money, and that's the whole full cost of attendance issue. A scholarship covers room, board, tuition, and things like that. But then there's another category that says full cost of attendance, and that's the money that it takes to get clothes for a new semester, get some shoes to wear, money to get some gas to go home, things like that. And that is something that's not covered by tuition. And so when student athletes, you always hear the story of a student athlete who didn't have enough money to get pizza on the weekend. That unfortunately does happen in some situations, and that's kind of what the money issue is about. Now, when you look at injuries, player injuries, and I know they do a great job here, but there's no mandate across the board for institutions and how they deal with injuries when players leave and ailments that they have. That's a big issue that's on the table. And quite frankly, student athletes want to know that they're going to be taken care of after they've committed so much to a university. They think that either the university or the NCAA should look out for their interests as well. So those are some of the things that are swirling around, and we really don't know how it's going to play out. I can say that here at Georgia, we haven't, talked about those things like that. Guys are kind of focused on football right now, and we'll be watching as the landscape of college sports changes, and as these decisions are made. My opinions are my own. My opinions say that, hey, there are issues. Do I think this is the way that we're going to fix those issues? I don't know. But I think that we're taking a step forward in the fact that this is getting out there and we're noticing these issues. And there's been other outlets for student athletes to reach out and to voice these opinions. And quite frankly, not all student athletes know how to go about that. And so this is a different way.
Sorry. Do you think that you guys should be considered employees?
Do I personally think that? Now, with all the benefits that come with being considered an employee, there are also drawbacks and negatives. One of those being your income is taxable when you get income. Another one is mandatory hours. Right now, the NCAA can mandate that. When the university becomes your employer, the university can mandate that, and that kind of comes up to the discretion of your president and your head coach. And that kind of scares me. Not about here, but at some universities, it could be a little bit overkill. And that really goes against kind of some of the issues that we were trying to fix. You open up other doors. And right now, we don't really know how that would play out, but it kind of looks like it could be kind of counterproductive in some of the things that are happening. So I don't consider myself personally an employee of the university, but I feel like regardless of if I'm an employee or not, some of these issues should be looked at.